to my channel. It is Adelaide and I am back with another video. I am starting a new series on my channel. The name is To Be Determined, but basically I just want to talk about things that I'm learning, revelations that I'm having, and also just talk with some friends and some special guests that I'm going to bring on the channel to discuss different topics from relationships to work life to life in your mid-20s, which is what I'm going to talk about today, to finances. For the first one, I decided to start it off by doing like a solo episode and just talking about life in your early, mid, late 20s, life in your 20s in general, and just all the things that come with that. Also, this is not an alcoholic beverage, okay? This is mango juice and Sprite, okay? I just put a little spritz together, okay? And because the color matches with the vibe, yo, you see me? We see each other. Okay, let's get into the episode. You're gonna be talking about life in your 20s, and I feel like even just saying that, if you are in your 20s, then you just understand. Like, you just hear life in your 20s, and I feel like everybody in their 20s just has like this basic understanding of what that means and what that looks like. Like, life in your 20s is so interesting. It's a beautiful time, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely a time of development. It's a time of figuring out who you are, figuring out what you like, figuring out what you want to study, what you want your career to look like, there's so many things that happen in your 20s. There's also so much growth that happens in your 20s, so many changes. Like, it's such an interesting part of life. So the very first thing that I really want to talk about that I feel like has been helping me so much is about gratitude for the season of life that I'm in. And this right here is so important, because I feel like something that is so easy to do, especially with social media nowadays, and especially at this time of life where people are in such different phases of life, even though we're all in the same age bracket. Like, there are people in their 20s who are married with 4 or 5 kids. There are people who have never been in a relationship. There are people who are dating. There are people who own their own house. There are people who still live at home. There are people traveling the world. There are people who have never traveled. Like, life in your 20s, everybody is at such a different place that sometimes it's really easy to compare yourself, and especially seeing what everybody's doing on social media, especially if you go on Facebook. That's where you get the real tea, okay? That's where you see all the pregnancy announcements, the engagement announcements. And I went to a very small private Christian high school, and trust me, majority of the people are married with babies, and I'm over here single as a Pringle, okay? Also, I don't know where this random southern accent comes from. It's just part of my personality now, so please ignore that. But comparison, okay? When I was younger, there were so many expectations that I had of my life right now. Like, I really thought that when I was 22 years old that I was gonna be married, I was gonna have kids, I was gonna have a husband, we'll have our own house. Like, I really thought, like, yeah, by 23 I should have 3 kids. Like, and obviously I'm 27, I don't have kids. And so sometimes balancing, like, okay, this is where I thought my life would be, and this is what my life looks like right now, and trying to be satisfied with the season of life that you're in and trying to be satisfied with where you're at can sometimes be hard, especially if you had expectations of your life and you're now looking back and you're like, oh man, like, I thought by now I would have my own place, I thought by now I'd have my own car. But one thing is that, number one, you're not the only person who feels that way, and number two, God has ordered our steps, right? And so, yeah, sometimes we have these expectations and these plans of how we want things to happen, but at the end of the day, God is in control. The third thing that has helped me so much is to walk with gratitude and a heart of thanksgiving. I'm telling you guys, like, and cherishing life, cherishing the season that you are in, and learning to really just take life in and really enjoy life for what it is. There are benefits to the season of life that you're in right now that when you move on into the next season, you're going to be looking back thinking like, oh man, I wish I was still there. So for example, right? Well, I just got a job recently. I graduated from school about a month ago, and I start work on Monday. So I haven't been working. And there was it was either like a Tuesday or a Wednesday in the middle of the week At 12:30, I got up and I decided I wanted to go play tennis. So guess what I did? I put on my tennis skirt and I went to go play tennis by myself, and I had a jolly old good time. And I came home and I remember just thinking like, yeah, like I'm not always going to be able to do this. And so instead of me like taking the opportunity to complain, taking the opportunity to find like a bunch of negative things about my life, no, I'm going to take the moment to really enjoy this time. And I don't want to be a person who only values something once it's gone. And it's so easy for us to do that. No, I want to value everything that I have in my life now while I have it. I don't want to be a person who has to wait for something to be gone until you're like, oh man, I wish I still had that. So right now in this season where I'm a new graduate, I'm still figuring out my career, I'm single, I'm living alone, I have the freedom to do things that I know eventually I'm not going to be able to do. I'm going to enjoy this season. I'm going to enjoy being single. I'm going to enjoy living alone. I'm going to enjoy figuring out my career, even though it might not look fun all the time. You know, being single isn't great all the time, but I'm going to enjoy this season. I'm really going to take life in. The thing that I feel like happens a lot in this like stage of life too is coming up with ideas and having goals for yourself, but maybe not necessarily feeling like you have the means to get there, or have the equipment to get there, or have the finances to get there. And so you're kind of like, oh, I have this idea, but maybe I don't have the money to invest in it right now, or I don't have the proper equipment, or I've had this business idea for a while. And it's so easy to just like sit on these ideas. And even with this, like this isn't the end stage of what I want these videos to look like. I love watching videos like this where people just have like girl chat and they're just talking with their friends about different topics, like, and it's relatable and it's authentic and it's genuine, but you're also taking something from it, and you're also learning, and you're also relating to people, and you're laughing and like just having a good time. And I love these videos, and so I can't wait to like have, you know, different friends on and stuff. But most of the videos that I watch, they have like insane setups, like full studio setup with like high definition cameras and like amazing lighting and all this beautiful equipment and like flawless setup for the videos, flawless audio. Yeah, I don't have that right now. I'm filming this on my Samsung what phone is this? S22 something phone with one softbox light in my living room, sitting on a mattress in front of my couch. That's where I'm filming it for now. And I'm doing what I can with what I have now, so that once I get to the point where I do have money to invest in better equipment, I'm gonna be ready to go. And that's one thing about me. If I have an idea, like I'm not waiting. Obviously, you want to do things in excellence, right? And so I think this little setup is cute. It's not my end goal, but it's cute enough. And obviously, you know, you want to make sure things look good and whatever, but it's like, I'm no longer sleeping on ideas. No, if I have an idea, I'm going to execute it with what I have now. And this right here is training ground for the next season. So if you have a business idea, like, and one thing too, don't let ideas sit in your head. If you have an idea that you've been thinking about, write it out, start planning for it. Even if you don't have the finances to invest, even if you don't have the equipment, even if you don't have whatever you think that you need, write it down. Write the idea down. Think of a business name. Go on Instagram and start looking at Instagram pages and get inspo for what you want your brand to look like. What's your brand colors? What's the font that your brand is going to use? What's the name of your brand? What do you want the logo to look like? What do you want your office space to look like? Are you going to have an office space? What do you want it to look like? What colors do you want to use? Like, really start to think of ideas, put it on paper, make Pinterest boards, make a Canva document, a Google Doc. Like, start planning for it so that when the time comes and you have the resources that you need to invest, you are ready to go and you can just go running, because you've already trained, you've already practiced, you've already planned for it. Now all you need is the resources, and once you get it, you're ready. But one thing that happens a lot of times is we have these ideas, we don't plan for them, and maybe one day we do get the finances, we do get the equipment that we need, but because we haven't planned, we're just like, okay, like, I guess I'm gonna start planning now. Or sometimes because we have planned, like let's say you want to start your own business, but you're like, I don't have the money right now. Maybe the money comes, but you haven't actually planned what you even want your business to look like. So now that the money is here, do you even know what to invest it in? Because you haven't planned for it at all. Somebody posted this on Instagram and I was like, oh my gosh, do not be afraid to be seen trying, especially in your 20s. Don't be afraid to be, listen, don't be afraid to be seen trying. Don't be embarrassed because you tried something and it didn't work. Okay, do you know how many people on planet Earth have tried something and it didn't work? We all have done that. Maybe some people is more publicly than others, but who cares? We can all relate to that. Who cares? Don't be afraid to be seen trying. Just try it. What is the harm in trying something and it doesn't work? What is the harm? You learn from it. You can try it again and again. And maybe if it doesn't work, then you can try twist it and try something else. And try that again and maybe like re-strategize and try something else. Like, don't be afraid to be seen trying. It's this weird thing, I feel like, especially with social media, where like people don't want to be embarrassed. It's like, literally, who cares? Who cares? You want to make content, oh, but I don't want to be embarrassed, I don't want people to see. You want to be a content creator but you don't want people to see? That doesn't make sense. Like, don't be afraid. For real though, don't be afraid to be seen trying. I feel like this is the perfect time to try things, like, especially when you don't have certain responsibilities yet. Don't be afraid to be seen trying. This is the time where you can make mistakes. You can learn from them. You still have time. Anyways, and so that's one thing that I'm no longer like letting myself like sit on ideas. I'm gonna try it. Okay, whoever sees it, I don't care. If it works, amazing. If it doesn't work, amazing. I had a great experience, I had a great time, and I learned from something, and now I can take what I learned into the next season of my life, you know? Alright guys, so this was actually super fun. I feel like this is good enough for the first episode. I already have not my shirt coming up, excuse me, sorry. This was super fun. I already have planned what I want to talk about in the next episode and who I'm gonna have on. And so we just gotta pick a time and a date, and that video will be up soon. But I'm super excited for this cute little series to have my friends on. We might have like different settings depending on like how many people are gonna be here, but I'm super excited. But the main takeaways from today's video is number one, don't be afraid to be seen trying. Don't be afraid to be seen trying. And number two, walk with a heart of gratitude and a heart of thanksgiving, and really cherish life. And I know that it's not always easy because we all go through things and life is not always easy. Like life really be lifing sometimes, and we all know that it does. But there are those moments of joy, those moments of peace, those moments where, actually, first of all, they should not be moments, because when we're walking with God, it's not just a moment of joy or a moment of peace. We have his peace that surpasses all understanding, that guards our heart and our mind, which is all the time and not just in moments. But what I'm trying to say generally is that we need to cherish life, enjoy life. When you're hanging out with your friends, enjoy hanging out with your friends. When you're spending time with family, enjoy it. If you live at home right now, first of all, cost of living, can we talk about that? Cost of living is insane. How was my groceries $103? I'm gonna insert a picture of my groceries. Why was that $103? And the fact that when I bought it, I thought, oh, this isn't that expensive. And then I got home and I put it on the counter and I said, $103 for this? Insanity. Anyway, so if you live at home right now, I know that's like a thing when you're in your 20s, is wanting to move out, live on your own for the first time, experience freedom. If you live in Canada, stay at home, okay? Stay at home, stay in your bedroom, decorate your bedroom, go to IKEA, okay? Get you some cute decor, go to H&M Home and stay at home, okay? Cost of living right now is too insane for everybody to be wanting to move out. Like, what? If you live at home, enjoy that. And then if you have a friend who lives alone, go over to their house, experience some freedom, and go back home. Okay, save your money. I hope that you guys enjoyed this little chit chat. I did. This was super fun to film, and I genuinely cannot wait to film more. The next one, most likely, I'm going to be talking about imposter syndrome The next one, most likely, I'm going to be talking with one of my friends about imposter syndrome, overcoming imposter syndrome, how to really build your confidence, and also just talking generally about being the only Black woman in a lot of spaces and how to really like push through that, the pros and cons, how to overcome, you know, the little obstacles that we can face as Black women. And so I'm super excited for that. So make sure that you subscribe and stay tuned for the next episode, and also for my other content as well, which don't worry y'all, don't worry, I'm still going to continue doing my regular content because I know y'all love my social media videos. I do videos on how to film, how to edit, really, you know, equipping content creators with the tools that they need to be successful in this content creation journey. So don't worry, I'm still going to be doing that. I'm still going to be giving y'all the tea, showing y'all the tutorials, the edit tutorials. So don't worry. We just added something else to the channel, okay? We multifaceted over here, period. I don't know where all this energy is coming from, but I hope that you guys enjoy this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. Ask me some questions. And I will see you guys in my next video, and also in the next episode. I will make a playlist with all of these videos in them so you guys can see it. And yeah, that's going to be the end of today's video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!